Hello everyone, in this lesson we are going to review segments in circles. Alright, so if you recall from the first video, which was on angles, we used one auxiliary line and one triangle along with creating other things from that one auxiliary line to find the angles in circles. Well, on this one, to find missing segments in circles, we're using two auxiliary lines, which thus creates two triangles, and those triangles are similar to each other. So if you notice, the intersecting chords is the same situation that you found in the first video for angles in circles, and that's going to be the exact same thing throughout this whole segments in circles lesson. They are the same scenarios, we're just finding segments in them now. So in this picture, you were given intersecting chords here, and we drew two auxiliary lines from A to D and from B to C. And as you see over here, angle E is where our vertical angles happen on both sides. And then DAC is congruent to CBD because they both intersect this arc DC right here. And then vice versa. BCA is congruent to ADB because they both intercept that arc right there. So now we have two similar triangles, and therefore that's how we get our proportion right here. So this segment AE and EB are corresponding to each other, and DE and EC are corresponding to each other. Remember that the corresponding sides go on the same fraction. Okay, so let's do a quick example here. Oh, and one more thing, it does not matter which way you write your auxiliary lines. I could have drawn it from A to B and from D to C, and I would get the same. I will get the same answer. Okay, so I'm going to draw on my auxiliary lines. Again, we're just attaching endpoints here. So I'm going to draw from there to there, and from there to there. Again, doesn't matter. You can draw it from DC to AB if you want to. All right. So which one are my corresponding angles here? Well, that's going to be that angle and that angle because they cut off arc AB. And I have angle A and angle B are the same because they cut off DC. All right. So now I have my corresponding sides. I have 10 and I have x. So that's 10 over x is equal to 8 over 6. 8 over 6. And then we just cross multiply and solve. So 10 times 6 is 60, which is equal to 8x. And we divide by 8 on both sides, and we get x is equal to 7.5. All right. So now, same thing, we have intersecting secants this time. So again, we're going to draw two auxiliary lines, and we're going to draw it from the far point of one secant to the near point of the other secant, and vice versa. So they kind of make an X. So auxiliary lines, there we go. Auxiliary lines make an X. Little note for yourself. All right, so they make an X, they crisscross. And as you can see, we have this angle here is equivalent to this angle here, or congruent, excuse me, because they both intercept arc BD, and both of these triangles that we formed by making those two auxiliary lines share the reflexive side of C. So both triangles are equivalent or similar to each other, excuse me. And now I strongly urge you, if you can't see the triangles, redraw them for yourself. So let me just redraw these guys. I'm going to start with this one, and then this one. So I have E, B, C, C is going to be the same over there. A is the same as E, so that makes this guy D up here. So if you can't see these guys, just go ahead and redraw your triangle. C is equivalent to C, and then we got E is equivalent to A. So there we go. So now you can see that EC right here is equivalent to AC, which is right here, EC and AC. Corresponding sides BC and DC are over here. And if you needed to, you can do the other side. BE would be corresponding to DA. Okay, so if you can't see this one, redraw the triangles for yourself. All right, so let's do a quick example. So I have it written right here. Redraw your triangles. So we have AC, so this whole side is 6. BC is 4. And CD is 3. And we want to know what CE is. We want to know what that guy is. So we need to draw an auxiliary line. So again, they're going to crisscross. We're going to make an X. And then these two guys over here, A and E, are congruent to each other. And we have C is the reflexive. So we need to redraw our triangles. C is going to be out here. And we've got A and E. So C's out here. And we've got E is there. B is up here. A is congruent to E. So that makes this guy up here D. And now we know, now we can jot in our numbers here. And we've got AC, which is 6. And we want to know EC, so that's that guy. We know that BC is 4 and CD is 3. So now it's clear as a bell what we need to do, where our corresponding sides are. So I got x over 6 equaling 4 over 3. Cross multiply and solve. We've got 3x equals 24. Divide by 3 on both sides. We get x is equal to 8. There we go. All right, last one. This one you definitely need to redraw triangles because just look at this picture up here. You need to redraw those triangles. One's flipped over, one's smaller. Definitely redrawing some triangles here. So again, we are drawing 2 auxiliary lines, creating 2 triangles. We start from the tangent point and we just make an auxiliary line to the one side, the one end point of the secant on the circle, and then we draw from that same tangent point to the other secant point where it crosses the circle. And this creates 2 triangles for ourselves. And as you can see, this angle right here and this angle right here are congruent to each other. Well, why? Because they are both inscribed angles that cut off the same arc. This is definitely an inscribed angle, cutting off arc AC. This one's a little bit harder to see, angle A over here. This is a tangent with a chord. We drew in that chord. That's one of our auxiliary lines. And that is cutting off arc AC, so that's half of that. And so is this guy over here. That's also half. So those 2 guys are congruent to each other, and they both triangles share the same B, so B is reflexive. So we have our similar triangles. We're going to redraw them. We know that angle A over here is congruent to angle D over here. We know that B is the reflexive, and that gives us C and A up on top. And now we can clearly see our sides, and we can get our proportion. So definitely, we're going to redraw some triangles here. There we go. Hey now. Technology's doing funny things to me. There we go. So, oops, I forgot one thing, didn't I? I forgot to draw in my auxiliary lines. Kind of need those. So we got angle D congruent to that, and we got angle B out there. Excellent. Okay, so we have that, that, and we have the reflexive one out there, which is B, so that's B. In the first triangle, this is going to be D, and that is corresponding to angle A. And then we got D, B, and A up there, and that makes this guy up there C. Now we can plug in our values. So we know that dB is 7 plus 5. This whole thing is 7 plus the 5, so that gives us 12. And we know that AB is X, and AB is X over there, and CB is 5. So now we have our proportion. We have X over 5 equals 12 over X. Cross multiply and solve, and this is very important. This is going to happen. One of your diagonals is going to be a square of itself, whether it's the x value or it's a number. One of these has to happen where it squares itself. They're going to be the same value. So we have x times x, which is obviously x squared, equals to 12 times 5, which is 60. And then we take the square root of both sides, and we have x is equal to radical 60. I'll just leave it just like that. Obviously, read your question. If it asks for the nearest tenth or what have you, do that. All right, so we have that. And there you go. Hope this was a great refresher for you. Again, consult your notes. Use this as an augmentation to your notes, and you should be good to go for your practices. Again, be safe and be healthy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.